The former head of Hamas, Khaled Mashal, virtually addressed the pro-Palestine rally in Kerala's Malappuram on October 27, calling for a unity for Gaza. Solitary Youth Movement, the youth wing of the organization Jamaat-e-Islami, had organized the rally. Amid the ongoing conflict in the region, Mashal spoke about Palestine and said together they will defeat Zionists and will stand united for Gaza. Kerala BJP State President K. Surendran criticized the rally, objecting to the participation of Hamas extremists.
I hold the government of Kerala squarely responsible for this because just yesterday, 24 hours ago, they permitted the terror organization Hamas, who was just recently responsible for killing so many innocent people. The head of Hamas yesterday was allowed to speak and speak hatefully about jihad, about waging hatred and war against non-believers, etc., etc.
Now, who is Khaled Mashal? Mashal was born in the West Bank town of Silworth in 1956. His family had to flee their home after the 1967 war between Israel and Arab states, in which Israel won and captured the West Bank. Mashal then became a member of what would become Hamas, a militant organization that was willing to use violence for the cause of Palestine. He headed Hamas's main decision-making body from 1996 to 2017. In a 2017 interview with a private news organization, he said that he is one of the founders of Hamas and has been there since day one. Currently, he heads the group's external Politburo based in Qatar. He has also lived in Syria and Iraq. Khaled Mashal and Hamas have had a complex history of opposition to Israel. Initially, Hamas did not recognize Israel and sought to claim pre-1948 territories as part of Palestine. The organization emerged in the early 1990s, distinguishing itself from the more conciliatory Palestinian Liberation Organization by resorting to suicide bombings against Israeli civilians in an attempt to challenge Israel's military superiority. However, in a 2017 document, Hamas signaled a shift by accepting the idea of a Palestinian state within the 1967 borders occupied by Israel, though they still refrained from recognizing Israel or conceding certain rights. Whereas Mashal emphasized that the willingness to negotiate with Israel depended on creating a conducive reality that would force Israel to reconsider its positions. In recent times, Mashal has reiterated the call for unity against Israel following Hamas's attacks and Israel's counter-actions. In 1997, while residing in Jordan, Khaled Mashal became the target of an Israeli assassination attempt ordered by then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Two Mossad agents waited outside his office and sprayed a lethal dose of modified fentanyl, a highly potent painkiller, into his ear. The Israeli plan was to induce a coma from which Mashal would not awaken, allowing the agents to escape without leaving evidence of foul play. However, their plan failed and Mashal was rushed to the hospital. Jordanian King Hussein threatened to sever relations with Israel because they tried to kill Mashal. US President Clinton got involved to help solve the problem between Jordan and Israel because they had just started to improve their relationship. Netanyahu had to give doctors in Jordan a way to treat Khaled Mashal. Jordan eventually agreed to talk about releasing 8 Israeli agents involved in the attack. In return, Israel had to free Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, who was the leader of the Hamas group. Under pressure from the US, Netanyahu also had to release other Hamas prisoners. This happened because the King of Jordan had threatened to end relations, close the Israeli embassy, and put the 2 Israeli agents on trial in a military court.